to Salam Media.
We'll be chatting to Catherine Constantinidis pretty shortly. I mean, she does fabulous work around relief, but what's interesting is the work she's done in setting up, iftar meals or buka meals at the time that we break fast. So we'll talk to her coming up shortly, right? But to get us there, the feature we have is called My First Ramadan, where we speak to a person and they reflect on what was it like observing their first Ramadan. It could be this year. It could actually have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe even 30, 40 years ago. Either way, we just think that experience must be quite a unique experience. And in fact, that's what Kareem Le Roux is going through now, because this is his first Ramadan. So let's find out more about it. Kareem, appreciate your time and assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Ashraf, and thank you so much for having me. Can you see me?
Yes, I certainly can. And it's interesting. I mean, I'm saying to you, belatedly Ramadan Mubarak. It's something I would have not told you a year ago. So things have changed in your life, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So you were 19 days into your first Ramadan. Share the experience.
Well, look, it was so difficult in the beginning because I've never done something like this before. Just getting to the first 3 days of Ramadan were absolute.
Okay, I think we've just lost Kareem just for a moment. Let's see if we can reconnect with him. By the way, we've had this feature called Mosque from Around the World, right? And we rely to a large extent on people like yourself for giving us some advice as to which mosque we should be talking to, or about rather. We've done it with the South African mosques last year. So if you have any thoughts on which mosque we should be covering in the remaining days of Ramadan, just let me know. Probably the best way is to WhatsApp us 061 766 0355, 061 766 0355. Also, that fabulous chat I had with Lebo Kampeku around South Africa, the economy, Russia, China, USA, and on the one hand, and on the other hand, that chat that I had first up with Feroz Mohammed about governance with with the mosques and Islamic organizations. Do listen to those and give me your feedback. And you can comment on the back of the social media posts. You can also comment on even on my post, by the way, just on social media. Just tell me what you think about those things, and then how do you take those conversations forward. Okay, I'm checking if we in fact have reconnected with Kareem Le Roux. If not, we need to connect with him soon. He himself is connected with Allah in the most unique way, this being the very first Ramadan that he in fact is observing. Okay, let's see if we can connect with him right after this.
Precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
In the aftermath of the tragic earthquakes in Syria and Turkey, thousands of survivors are struggling and in need of food, shelter, and life-saving aid. This Ramadan, take a closer look at the countless lives that have been turned upside down. You have the power to help. Your donation is the lifeline, a beacon of hope in an otherwise hopeless situation. Please donate today. Visit donate.unhcr.org/RamadanZA.
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan. The Ashraf Garda Show, 8 to 10 a.m. on Salam.
Okay, let's get back to Kareem Le Roux. We spoke about at the outset his first Ramadan, and he made the point that, I asked him a question, what was it like in those first few days? Well, so far, he started with the difficulties of the first 3 days. I'll probably put that back to you, Kareem. So let's talk about it. First three days difficult, then what's happened then?
Just getting the support of my family and friends, it's been so much better. And having to experience the whole Taraweeh experience is amazing. So just having my group of brothers around me in the Deen of Islam has just uplifted me a lot. And yeah, I'm very happy
Yeah.
for that.
And the difficulties of those first few days, for many of us who are born in the Islamic faith, and that's what we do since we were lighties, it's just the most natural thing for us. It's
Mhm.
not natural for you, obviously, right? What was,
Yeah, yeah.
the steps of those first few days for you?
Look, okay, obviously, so it was waking up super early for Siri and then obviously making my Fajr namaz. And because I'm working, having to get through the whole day of work and working within hospitality, you're constantly with people and your energy is always depleted. So after the third day, it got so much better.
Yeah, okay. And of course with hospitality there's also chow around, right? I mean there's always foods with at
Yeah.
hospitality at events, right? How are you able to sort of switch up that you cannot eat this?
I think I just had to keep reminding myself, I have like a really, really bad weakness for fried chips, and I swear on the day, that's all I was smelling, fried chips. So, but
Well, you're
look,
not unusual. We
after
always say don't go to a bakery when you're fasting. I mean, the reasons are pretty obvious. Yeah.
100%. So I think for me it was a little bit more difficult. But
Yeah, yeah,
after
yeah.
sometimes it gets better. But the fried chips, I tell you, Ashraf, fried chips, eh?
Well, I'll remember you with fried chips now. So we got about 10 days left, right? I mean, obviously there are observances that you have to do, like fasting and performing your
Yeah,
salah and then the extended prayers and all that. But
yes.
is there anything else you intentionally want to get out of the last 10 days of Ramadan?
Look, I mean, I remember even before Ramadan, I made a vow to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I said, you know what, no matter what happens in my life, I just want to remain Muslim. And I think it still remains the same. I just want to get closer to Allah and hopefully inshallah I'll get to go for itikaf.
You mean now? I mean that's like today, right? Or next time? You mean sometime soon?
No, sometime soon, like after Ramadan ends.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then hopefully that opportunity will come up, right? Let's then talk about. You made the point about support for from your family. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, we take it. I mean, you sort of in a category of new Muslims, right? Was the support of your family always there? Were there, were there resistances? What happened there? I think we have just lost him once again. We have these line connections that are not so great, unfortunately. Let me tell you, by the way, Najma Kota takes over today, being a Tuesday, on her show, which starts at 11 o'clock. So three things: the psychology of Ramadan, which is really interesting. What does that really mean? Then Abu Karolia will talk about the teachings of Rumi once again. That's part three. And then the preservation of the Quran with Kari Bashir Patel. Okay, Kareem's back on the line, right? Kareem, perhaps let's see if we can get your visual currently. Okay, we got that right, right. Perhaps let's go back to when it started for you, right? I understand
Yeah.
that in November last year you embraced the Islamic faith, right? What happened to you? Give us the build up to that.
Okay, so you look, I was going through some really rough stuff in my life at the time, and I would say,
Oh, we're just losing him again. I think there's just this bad line. Maybe we just need to swap to, if we can go visual, sorry, audio only. Let's just see if Abdul Salam can assist from my technical side, if we can do that. Uh, let's see if we can talk, because I think his insights, his experience, his lived experience, um, is really important. So let's see if we do that. By the way, this feature, My First Ramadan, is also open to anybody else. So if you think you know someone who wants to share their experience of their first Ramadan, let us know about it, because we want to talk to them in the 9 days that I have remaining of this particular show, right? I just want to check if Kareem is in fact back online now. Kareem, you there? No, he's not there. Okay, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, that's a pity. So okay, yeah, if you know someone, and it could be someone like Kareem, literally experiencing their first Ramadan now, but it could be someone even who's had 20 Ramadans, and they're just sharing their thoughts of what was it like when they first observed Ramadan. In fact, I mean, I think we take it for granted for many of us who um, had been born into a situation where Islam was the thing they did or they heard from day one. It's quite normal. You know, as a 5 or 6 year old laitiki, you start fasting and you're starving all day, and you know about all those things, and you wake up early and you perhaps go to the mosque and then tarawih and all that, right? Okay, let's see. We Kareem is back on the line. We're going to speak to him telephonically. Kareem, so I asked
There
the
you go.
question. I asked the question about your, yeah. You, I was saying, how did it all start for you in terms of embracing the Islamic faith? And you started with you were having going through a bad time. So tell me about that.
Okay, so look, Ashraf, I was in information plays a very important role in our life, and I got into some drugs with friends and stuff like that, and ended up becoming an addict. So I got to a point in my life where I needed to get help, and by the grace of Allah, it was in within an organization that was Muslim owned, or it's funded by Muslim people. And being a Christian at the time, I never had an understanding of what was going on. But I remember just listening to the guys reading Salah and the Adhan going off, and I would find myself in the JK or the masjid, and I would just cry, and I wouldn't understand why am I crying, because I don't understand Arabic at all. But after that, I think my heart was already in the process of becoming convinced, and I would listen to the Salah being read more often. And yeah, after that, I think my heart just became sold. Yeah, it was
Well,
part of my years to become Muslim.
Alhamdulillah. And I mean, are you at liberty to tell us about that organization that first supported you?
Okay, it's called Rauf. It's Rauf.
Yeah, right.
Okay, there's a dot between each letter. That's how it would be spelled if you're trying to search it on social media or Google.
Okay.
And they're an organization that's been around for 25 years. They help addicts and people from broken families and broken homes to rehabilitate them and get them back into life. Yeah, and they're based in Cape Town, Joburg, and Durban.
And how did you end up with them? I mean, in the first place. I mean, I know your need around your drug, the need to be rehabilitated, but like, why them? Why not the next door organization?
Okay, remember when I said that I think or I feel it's part of my trust years to become Muslim, because at the time we were pursuing two different places. So one was a Christian-based organization, and one was a Muslim-based organization. And as I was pursuing the first organization, they didn't get back to me. They didn't give me any know-how or how to get there, or get any confirmation for my date to come in. And it just so happened that one of my family friends, or my family members correctly, knew about Rauf. So that door had opened for me, and it opened so fast. You understand? So I think Allah in the deen of Islam was just waiting for the right time to hook, line, and sinker me in.
Yeah. And then, I mean, what, besides you listening to, as you said, listening to the Arabic recitation, not even getting it, but getting it in a different way, right, without understanding it, then
Yeah.
slowly I gather you had an appreciation of the faith, and particularly coming from a Christian background, the obvious thing is you make comparisons between Islam and the Christian
Yes.
faith, and where the differences came in. How did you work out those differences and then say, but this is for me?
Okay, look, I remember speaking to a sheikh. Thank you for the question. I remember speaking to a sheikh, and I asked him, what should I do? Me coming from a Christian point of life, and now coming into the deen of Islam, am I doing the right thing? And all he said to me was, you need to ask God to show you the truth. And I remember clear as day, when he said that, the image that clicked into my head was the image of a book by Ahmed Deedat called Islam versus Christianity. And I think after then I knew this
Okay,
is what I
wow.
was for.
Yeah.
So I
What
knew.
was, I mean, I take it at the time, the fact that you were going through serious drug problems. I mean, listen, we know many people
Mm,
who have experience of a drug addict in the family.
mm,
They
yeah,
are fully aware of how disruptive that is to the family home, right? It's incredibly disruptive. So they're hoping for some hope from somewhere, right? But what then did your
yeah.
family respond? They'd be happy that you were on the path of rehabilitation, but then when you also explained that your path was being a Muslim, how did they respond?
Look, um, my sister, we're the only Muslims in our family, you understand? But growing up around my auntie and like my mom and my grandmother and stuff like that, they've been very open to the idea. They've never judged me in regard. The food at home is halal, you understand? So I'm just very grateful that I have this type of support with that. But they were like, you know what? I'm happy for you. This is your decision as long as you're fine.
Okay, good. And as you know, I mean, Ramadan is not the be all and end all. It's the training ground for the whole year, right? So the very fact, I mean, you've got
Yeah.
bigger plans for yourself, right? What's your condition like now? What's your mind like now as a Muslim, and what's your condition like in terms of the problems that got you into into the rehabilitation and the guidance in the first place?
Well, look, for all I can say is now that I'm walking this path, that I'm living this Sirat al-Mustaqim, let's call it that. I'd say my iman is much sharper or much heightened. And before, I never had the support. You understand? I never had the support of even just going to a masjid. I was even though I'd call myself Christian, I didn't necessarily have, in inverted commas, God in my life. You understand? So the fact that I have this little bit of support system, or support, let me call it that, makes a huge difference. And I just hope and pray that I stay steadfast and that everybody will be able to input in my life the way that they do now. Yeah.
Is there maybe a final message? Is there a final message you want to leave us with in terms of like what's been the one single thing on this great journey that you'd like to share with us?
Wow, there's so many. Look, all I can say is to anybody out there that's listening, that's maybe is considering becoming a Muslim. I could never understand the true value of being a Muslim until I became one. And now that I am one, I'm grateful and I would never turn back. So if you feel that you're pursuing the deen of Islam, 100%, both hands up, Allahu Akbar.
And that's where we leave it. Both hands up. Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest. Couldn't have said it any better myself. A privilege to talk to you, believe me. Absolutely. Thank you for your time and best wishes with what happens next on your great journey. Absolutely. There we are. Inspired. I certainly am. Kareem Le Roux. You see, different things affect people in different ways and leads them onto that journey. The world is the road to enlightenment is filled with potholes, and sometimes you need to fall into a pothole to be able to get on that journey of enlightenment, and Kareem Le Roux clearly has done that. So thank you for your time. We'll chat we'll do some champion spotting, chatting to Catherine Constantinides right after this.